Hi, and welcome to Integrative Wisdom. Today's office view. Verna here. I thought today I would take a moment to talk about the idea of doing which you can do virtually too, but we used to call it, or I used to call it healing the healers in hospice care. Because if you're in any kind of profession where you are giving of yourself, there's a good possibility that you are not filling yourself back up at the same time that you're giving everything that you have. And so once a month or so, we would do an hour or so where we would gather, and I would bring in a couple of activities so that the team could rest, could stop, and not only rest and stop, but also rejuvenate. So I was just thinking, I don't know if I did a video on ceremony, but I know that not everybody gets to see every video. So I thought I would just talk a little bit about what that could look like to replenish. Um, if you're at home, you can do similar things. So it doesn't have to be everybody in the same room doing this. You want to have an opportunity to be undisturbed. So asking for however much time you think you're going to need. I know some people say, I need all day, but perhaps you can start with a half hour. Perhaps you have an hour. At any rate, it's like putting the do not disturb sign up so that wherever your workplace is, people know that there is something special that's happening inside that room and you are not to be disturbed unless blood is involved. So we set the space by potentially clearing things away so that you're not distracted, especially with your phone or your computer with the buzzing of emails, messages that people might be sending you because they're not aware that you are doing some self-care. So having that in place and perhaps starting with just quiet music in the background. There's a great group that I use it almost every time I do a gathering, 2002 Land of Forever, but it's instrumental. There aren't words. There's not a set rhythm that you can identify in the beginning. And so it just allows your body mind to unwind, to relax. And starting with that, dropping down into the silence. So maybe the music stops and you just allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to slow down. And you might actually feel that inner motor begin to shut down and stop. We don't even realize sometimes how revved up we are until we can get into that place where we actually feel it settle, settle, settle. And it gives our body a chance to reset so that it doesn't have to be in high gear and high mode and pushing, 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 staying alert, staying on top of everything. So again, as I've said before, this is a great way to enhance your immune system by allowing your body to stop, allowing your mind to stop all the thoughts. Just let them go for a minute. And one of the ways that we do that is to imagine, as we close our eyes, nice posture, feet flat on the floor, taking a moment to notice any thoughts that are up here. And there are a couple of ways that we can do that. We can imagine a box. We take all of these thoughts up here, we put them in the box, close the lid and set it aside. Or another way that we've done it is imagine that we take those thoughts and we see this little cloud, put them on the cloud, and the cloud just gently floats out of our way, right? Knowing though that when we are rejuvenated, when we have replenished, we will be able to bring back the box, the cloud will float back, whatever it is. So come back to here, but you will be able to consciously pick which ones need to be attended to. And there may be a lot of stuff that's been floating around that's from a long time ago, it's way in the future, whatever it is, and you don't need it right now. And in fact, it's better if you don't let it come back in and you put it back in the box. Quiet, breathing, very simple, but yet, can you count the last time you did that? Unless you are a practicing meditator of some kind. And even for those of my friends who are very involved with prayer, prayer is very active a lot of times. It's petitioning, it's thanksgiving. It's not quiet. It's not just being in the quiet necessarily, unless you are doing a contemplative type of prayer. So that's another way for your work world to replenish. It's to set aside all the caring that you're doing. Clients, customers, the boss. And if you are the boss, what are you doing in those moments? You can build into this by bringing in essential oils. There are many ways to use essential oils, and there are experts that are out there that can guide you more deeply. But for our purposes, ylang ylang, and kind of gives you energy, lemon, lavender for calming. There are many blends that have a specific purpose in mind. I have one from Young Living called Harmony. I have one that's called Abundance. There's one calming, anxiety relief. So again, that's another tool that you can bring with you. Add it to the mix. The oil in and of itself doesn't fix everything, but it allows as it goes. Did you know the skin, by the way, is the largest organ in the body? And so when you tend to your skin, you're taking care of your internal organs, but it's an external, so I don't know how that works, but it's internal too, right? And there you go. Anyway, you can also use intuitive means. What I would do is bring colored pencils and just blank paper, and I would have another type of music with perhaps a little bit more of a beat to it, and tell people to take their their color, and write. I said, put the point of the pencil to the paper and just begin to move. Don't lift up the point of the pencil, and just create. And once they did that, then they would color in certain portions. And then we would have them draw from a deck of, I have a word deck that I created that has so many words. It's a deck about like that. And pick a couple of those as their words for the day, the week, the month, whatever. And then write those words, and they would be their little reminders. So whatever that word might be, peace, kindness, courage, and it would be there on their work of art. And they could take that and they could place that up either, because we drove a lot, so you could place it in your car, you could place it in your office space. to remind you of what it felt like to be stepping away and being in that place of quiet and allowing your body to reset. So there's just a few ideas. Self-care is really, really important right now, and not everybody is practicing. So why don't we all start practicing self-care? And once we fill us back up, then we're really going to be better prepared to help and assist others. So that's it for today, today's Office View. Thanks a lot for being here.